how to get the most out of your fragrance. So pretty much if you wear cologne or perfume or whatever, any kind of scent, you might be wondering, how can I make it last longer? How can I make it perform better just in general so you get really the most out of this experience of wearing a fragrance? So there are a few things and a few mistakes that people make in terms of wearing fragrance, so I'm going to get right into it. So one of the best things you could do to make sure that your fragrance lasts longer, at least longer than usual, is to apply it right after you get out of the shower. Because after you come out of a warm shower, not a cold shower, your pores are going to be open. And that when you spray perfume onto your skin when your pores are open, it's going to be much easier for your skin to absorb that scent, and that scent is going to stick around on your skin for much longer because it's just going to be deeper in your skin compared to on the surface layer, obviously. So that's always a good idea, getting out of the bath or the shower, to put on whatever fragrance you want directly, once you get out. Now, besides just putting it on your skin, after the shower, it's also a good idea to put on some moisturizer first before you put on any fragrance. The main reason for this is that especially if you have dry skin, if you put fragrance on to your skin and there's no moisturizer, there's no moisture there, the fragrance molecules aren't going to stick that well to your skin, even, if your pores are open right out of the shower. It's always a good idea to put on moisturizer or lotion or oil or something, because that gives the fragrance a good foundation to stick to. Because again, otherwise, if you have just regular unmoisturized skin, or especially dry skin, the fragrance just isn't going to stick to you as much. You can kind of think of a moisturizer as like a glue for the fragrance. It really just sticks better to your skin. Now, the other thing is to kind of think about the pulse points. So the pulse points are your wrists, your neck, your inside of your elbows, that sort of thing. And pulse points are primarily portions of the body that are warmer than other portions of the body. And heat is important for fragrances because fragrance oils, which are inside most fragrances, they need a little bit of warmth to express themselves. So if, the thing is that as long as you put them on in the main pulse points, they're going to express themselves more easily. They're going to be more noticeable to you and other people, and they'll just perform better in general. They'll last a little bit longer, and that sort of thing. So that is important to consider. I mean, the most popular pulse points for both men and women, again, are the neck and the wrists. Some people spray their shoulders, the top of their head, depends. But pretty much the neck and the wrists are the most effective pulse points. Now, another thing, which isn't really something you should do, but a lot of people do it anyway, is rubbing a fragrance into the skin. So, when you rub your wrists together after you spray on some perfume, it's not really a great thing to do. It's not the end of the world. It's not going to completely destroy your fragrance, but it will destroy it a little bit, mainly because that friction and the heat that is created from the friction will kind of break down the fragrance molecules once you put on that fragrance. So really the best thing is to just don't rub your wrists, don't rub the fragrance into your skin. Really just let it sit on your skin, especially after you use moisturizer. And that's just one of the more effective ways to use fragrance, is to just not rub it in. Now, another kind of simple tip that a lot of people do already, but spraying your fragrance onto your hairbrush and then running it through your hair. Obviously, it's a pretty simple thing to do, but it is also pretty effective. It really gets that fragrance through your hair. You could just spray it directly onto your hair, but it's not going to go throughout your hair, just on the surface. So if you want a more thorough kind of smell to your hair, then just use the hairbrush thing. But I also wouldn't recommend spraying directly onto your hair also because, especially a lot, because fragrances are mostly high-proof alcohol, and you don't want to put high-proof alcohol onto your hair unless you want your hair to really dry out, especially if you already have dry hair. So, it kind of just depends on what you want to do. Some people don't bother with the hair at all. But another important tip, which I find is very, very effective, is to pair your fragrance with another type of scent, like a scented lotion, a scented soap, scented oil, you know, whatever has a scent that can complement whatever fragrance you want to use. So it kind of depends, because some fragrances already, like, they're already available soaps and lotions. Like, if you look up Chanel No. 5 on the Chanel website, there's not only the fragrance itself, but also soap, lotion, you know, with the Chanel No. 5 fragrance already infused into it. So if you use the soap, the lotion, and then the perfume, you're obviously gonna smell like Chanel No. 5 on all layers at all times. So that's just a really good way to kind of compound the scent. Now, obviously not all fragrances are going to have these complementary soaps and lotions and things that have the same scent. But despite that, even if you can't find, you know, something with the exact same scent, you could still use some complementary items to just further complement the scent you're already going to be wearing. So if you're going to be wearing a floral fragrance, obviously just find some soap or some lotion that already has a similar floral scent, because then, you know, when you use these in layers, it's just going to amplify the scent of your fragrance that you're going to be wearing. So that just makes things more efficient in terms of how you smell. Especially if you want to make sure you smell really good and you smell good for a very long time. That's a really good option as well. Now, it's not supremely important. Obviously, you can use unscented soaps, unscented lotions, and then still put on your main fragrance, and it's still going to smell fine. It's still going to perform well. But it's just mainly an extra layer of scent if, you know, to use a scented lotion or a scented soap and that sort of thing. But overall, these main tips are very efficient at helping people not only smell good, but smell good for a very long time. So hopefully you found these kind of tips, these fragrance hacks, to be helpful. And of course, if you did, I make videos throughout the week. If you like this one, you can like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next videos.